raid calendar.
Oh God. She's the worst one of all.
Pie mancer, I assume.
She'll bake you right into a pie and then suck the filling out.
Is she a witch? Is she a Hans and Is she the Hans and Gretel witch?
Yep, she's the Hansel and Gretel witch too. Yeah, you call him Hans. You're on.
I call him Hans. Yeah, I'm on nickname basis with Hansel. Sorry,
folks. Welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness podcast. My name's Jordan Dahl.
I am Nate Balding.
And I am Roger Norquist, friend of Hansel.
Friend of Hansel. That sounds like a secret society for witch slayers, like the Friends of Hansel.
Where'd you think this 20-sided die came from? It came from Colin. Thank you, Colin.
Yeah, Colin made us incredible dice. Mine are across the way, but if
you don't know what we're talking about, twitch.tv/werewolf_radar. Werewolf_radar.
You got it.
You'll figure it out.
I'll get it one day.
Mondays, 4 p.m. Mountain Time, we play Dungeons and Dragons where we hunt vampires. It's Curse of Strahd. We're getting very close to facing Strahd, who is a dick.
He took our panda clunge.
He kidnapped me.
Yes.
Anyway.
He stole Jordan.
Tune in Mondays. We'll figure out what happens. Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by Monstroko brand toilet tablet, the obvious evolution of toilet paper. Monstroko toilet tablet. Oh, it's everywhere by Monstroko.
Now, this sounds like something that has a foaming function.
Yes. Well, you'd think so. I actually haven't gotten to use it, but from the box, it seems to be a tablet that you shit on.
Oh, okay. I thought you put it inside of you.
No, it's like
I'm gonna have to go to a hospital pretty soon.
They want this to replace toilet paper, and it's a tablet. I don't know what happens to it after that, but they say, this is the evolution of toilet paper. Okay. And I mean, you've both got one in your bathroom. So
all right, well, if it's the future, it's the future. Who am I to deny our corporate overlords? Thank you,
there
Monstroko.
You go. The toilet tablet by Monstroko. What the fuck?
Progress never asks. Jesus Christ, I gave it time. Progress never asks if it can. It just apologizes later.
It just doo-doos on the tablet. That's toilet paper now.
Well,
all right.
What are we talking about today?
Let's get into it.
I've got a thing that I can throw down if nobody else has something they want to go first.
I mean, I got something, but I don't want to step on anyone's toes. So you go ahead. I know how aggro you get.
Mm-hmm. You do become very orcish
when you don't get to go first. Nate shows up at your house, twists your thumb.
Ever since I got those Monstroko toe flares, they're very sensitive.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. But they are, they've helped you in hunting.
It looks better.
Mm-hmm.
You can't buy beauty, is what they say. I say they're wrong.
Mm-hmm. I say, take a look at these toes.
This is from Irish Imbus. Exploring the culture of Ireland through book.
Oh.
This is the quote-unquote official story of the Long Woman's Grave, a.k.a. the Cairn of Kathleen.
Ooh, yikes.
The story of the long lady's what?
Grave. The Long Woman's grave.
I thought you said cave, and let me tell you, I had quite the
it is a cairn,
the sea song.
Yeah, and that does really sound like a fucking like Molly Hatchet song or something, right? She was a long lady's dress with a big cave. Hollies. That's who that is.
So I don't have the author of this article's name right in front of me, but I'll get to it by the end, I'm sure. So as the article goes, when I get back home, I usually do at least 3 or 4 folklore or mythological site visits to test out various bits of research I'm working on.
Sure.
Test them out.
I mean, which all of us do.
Mm-hmm.
The Long Woman's Grave near Carlingford is a bit of a feint, but it's hilarious marketing that would put many other far more authentic sites to shame.
Ooh.
Here is the official story of the Long Woman's Grave, which if you happen to be in Carlingford, Edla, you can go find on a mountainside. Lorcan O'Hanlon was the youngest son of the Shan, or chieftain of Amith. His father, upon his deathbed, ordered that his lands be divided between his 2 sons, Conug and Lorcan. However, Conug, whose name I'm definitely saying wrong, tricked his brother Lorcan by bringing him up to the Lugar Hollow in the mountains of Enech, telling him that he would give him the land as far as he could see. However, this was, of course, on top of an Irish mountain, and so all he could see was mist and bleakness of the hollow, which became Lorcan's only legacy, as the walls of the hollow blocked any sight of the surrounding land. However, Lorcan did own a ship and started trading in the east, making his fortune and becoming very prosperous. On one of his voyages to Cadiz, he bravely saved the lives of a Spanish nobleman and his daughter. Lorcan was in... Yes. Lorcan was in... They don't get into it. I don't know how that happened. Presumably
you can write this
through
part in yourself.
some pirate shit.
Probably some pirate shit. Piratery.
Or maybe just like pushed her out of the way of a cart. Who knows? Lorcan was enchanted by Kathleen, a Spanish descendant of the great O'Donnells of Ulster.
Oh,
Who, of course, have the most Spanish name of all time.
Sure. Yeah,
I do believe they also have maybe a banshee that hunts them, or at least foretells their deaths.
Sure. Haunts, if not hunts.
Oh.
Anyway, Lorcan fell in love with Kathleen. The pair made a handsome couple as she was 7 feet tall, only 3 inches shorter than Lorcan.
Wow. Wild. He was 7'3"? Holy moly.
Yeah.
People were big.
And I mean,
they're also smaller.
There may be some giant theory going on in the background of this story.
Yeah.
Kathleen was already engaged to be married, but was wooed by Lorcan's profession of love. Jesus fucking Christ. Mark it, edit, kill me. Lorcan's professions of love and the promises of the good life they would have back at Oman.
He's a professional lover.
Professional.
That explains that. He's going to get down to business. He's going to get down to the bottom of this thing.
Getting down to business.
Gets down to the bottom of a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
The pair then eloped. When the couple arrived in Carlingford, the locals were enchanted by this tall beauty adorned in jewels. The couple set along the mountain path until they came to the lug or hollow in the rocks. Now it keeps saying lug or hollow, which I think is either a weird transliteration of 2 different words, or is this a place called Lug or Hollow? And it's a translation.
Or like Lug or is the proper noun. Welcome to Lug or.
Well, Duolingo has a phenomenal course on Irish. One day, actually, it's used by a number of universities. The point is, perhaps one day we'll be sponsored by Duolingo.
Duolingo, give us money.
Yeah, let's get into that Gaelic game.
Teach us how to pronounce all the names of every article we read from.
Duolingo, give us money or we'll doff your canny wagon. Huh?
So we're halfway there.
Is that anything?
Lorcan bade his bride to stand in the center and look around as far as she could see, as he was, quote, Lord of all she could survey. Kathleen looked around. So great was her disappointment at the realization of what she left behind in Spain, she fell to the ground and died.
Oh, bummer. So disappointed. Y'all ever so disappointed? Y'all ever so disappointed that you fall to the ground and die?
Lorcan was so horrified that his duplicity had caused his wife to die and flung himself into the murky waters of the marsh at the crossroads. His body
killed her,
never to be recovered.
Oh, you bozo.
The locals, however, found the long woman's body and dug a grave for Kathleen in the Luc Banfata, aka the long woman's hollow, where she lays to this day. Each person laid a stone on the grave to raise her burial cairn, and here she sleeps in the hollow of her disappointment and unfulfilled promises.
Sounds
in
nice.
One of the most Irish stories I have ever read.
Truly. Heartbreaking stuff.
It starts tragic.
It keeps going.
And then just keeps going. A real Finnegan's Wake, you know?
Sure. Yowza. The Long Woman's Hollow, huh?
Yes. And there's an update that's fairly recent.
Short Woman's Hollow?
Sorry. This is from our favorite leprechaun whisperer, Kevin Woods.
Shut up. It's all coming together.
Shocker. Recurring cast members.
Who he was writing in the Irish Independent. As proposals go, it was daring, divisive, and imaginative. Self-proclaimed leprechaun whisperer Kevin Woods, whose Leprechaun Cavern listed on TripAdvisor as the second most popular thing to do in Carlingford, announced that he was going to exhume the remains of the Spanish princess buried at the Long Woman's grave and reinter her in a grave overlooking Carlingford Low.
Dig her up. Dig her up. Dig her up.
Yowza.
Why can't we have one town meeting without us exhuming a body?
Look, corpses are stories, and we need to know all of them before we can make any real decisions.
This is true.
You're an archaeologist.
It belongs in a museum. A weird one.
He told the willing national media that the Spanish noblewoman had dropped dead on the spot after being deceived by Lorcan O'Hanlon from Lemay, who had lured her with his boast that he owned all the land the eye could see. We covered that. When she saw his kingdom, blah, blah, blah. She died near the Windy Gap is the name of the area. So called now because she was so shocked there, she blew out a windy gap and never recovered her breath. It was a horrible thing to do. It needs to be put right. No one deserves an end like that, says Kevin. I intend to write to the Spanish Minister of Foreign Ministers' Affairs, Jose Manuel Garcia Margallo of the People's Party, to secure support, and to Charlie Flanagan, who's our own foreign minister.
I intend to write to the Minister of Ghost Affairs over this.
Listen. I'm not saying your cares aren't important, but Europe's got other shit to deal with right now,
other
sir.
Things going on, sir.
Maybe wait a decade. Just let people breathe in Europe right now.
Well, this is in 2016, so we hadn't quite yet seen all of the troubles that were going to plague the world.
Good. Okay, good. So hopefully he's settled.
It was a nice little time to just write the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Not much going on in the news, I suppose. I'll write an angry note about something stupid.
Local Cooley tourism officer Francis Taylor, an employee of the Omis Development Company, entered the fray, commenting, quote, I believe Kevin's heart is in the right place, but the people of Omith will fight tooth and nail to keep her where she is.
Wow.
The Omith Development Association responded, organizing a protest march at the Long Woman's Grave on Friday night, which, according to Francis, was attended by around 180 to 200 protesters, including 5 of the landowners and locals that work in the Midlands and Dublin traveled to be present.
Nice.
The story of the Long Woman was recounted, and it was suggested that an annual wake be held at the grave in her honor. The possibility of increasing security at the site was also discussed. Comments on the association's Facebook page, however, show that people were unsure whether Kevin's proposal was serious or was a serious threat to remove part of their heritage or a publicity stunt. And as we know, the Leprechaun Whisperer does not make idle threats. He's walked over the corpses of 1 million dead leprechauns. Suspicions that it was the latter were fueled by his announcement, quote, in view of the magnificent turnout by the people of Omith to protect the Long Woman, I've decided to end my efforts to have her move and will concentrate instead on moving the Magic Hill at Jenkinstown to Carlingford.
All right. Well, that's kind of a out of the frying pan situation.
But that's everything that you probably need to know about the Long Woman's Grave at Carlingford Lough.
Mm-hmm.
Or Lough. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly.
I don't. Who knows?
Either way, you can find it by typing in the Long Woman's Grave. It will take you to.
It'll be the first thing.
Yes,
and she was called the Long Woman because she was tall, which is very funny to me.
What will you be called 1,000 years from now?
The
Red Man? Oh, okay.
The Red Man.
I'd be the Thin Boy.
I'll be the hairy countenance. The web creature.
I imagine I'm going to be referred to by my political name, the Master of Doritos, as I will be buried in a giant grave of Doritos.
Nice, nice.
I will only call you King, sir.
And when people find it in 1,000 years, they'll be like, truly, he was some sort of lord.
Yeah, and they'll be like, hey, some of these are still fresh.
Buried with these corn discs. These corn, not discs at all. This is what we call discs in the future. Truly, it is a bleak and terrible end point.
All right. Are we ready for some ghost
only
stories?
These 3D Doritos had been 2D, he might have survived.
If only someone had stopped the Doritos, the Frito-Lay Corporation, from dabbling in other dimensions.
Are we ready for some ghost stories?